APM. It is Agile Project Management Framework. Again, this was designed by Jim Highsmith. The 5 phases which are there is envision, speculate, explore, adapt, and close. So what do you think, what would envision mean? Envision is nothing but visioning the project, defining the project vision.
Yeah, the definition.
Okay? So envision.
Okay.
My envision would be, I want to have a Facebook. This is my envision. This is my vision. Now, speculate would be to design a high-level plan on how I would turn my vision into reality. Okay? Explore would be plan, now convert my high-level plan to low-level plan. How would I release it to my audience? How would I market it? It would be explore. Adaptation would be based on the features I have completed. I am analyzing them. I am getting a feedback from a market. I am adapting it. So once you adapt, you go back to the speculate phase, because there you would be again creating a high-level plan for the feedback you have received. Because once you get a feedback, there could be that you need some changes in the upcoming features. Right? Once you adapt, once the complete cycle of explore, adapt, speculate is finished, you close the project. You have a sign-off. Okay? So these are the 5 phases of APM: envision, speculate, explore, adapt, and close. So these are the definitions. Envision determines the product vision and scope, the project community, and how the team will work together. Speculate is nothing but develop the feature-based release milestone iteration plan and to develop on the vision. Right? Explore is deliver the tested features in short frame, constantly seeking to reduce the risk and uncertainty of the project. Adaptation is the reviewing of the delivered results in the current situation. And close is conclude the project. Any doubts?
So explore is the actually delivery happening there, is it?
You are testing the actual delivered product, yes. So if I talk from a Scrum perspective, my sprint review, my sprint is my explore phase. My adaptation phase is my sprint review meeting and my sprint retrospective. Right? So whatever feedback I got in my retrospective and my sprint review meeting, I'm trying to implement it in my next phase, in the next sprint. So when I plan, I go back to the speculate phase. So I have a sprint planning meeting, so I am speculating. Right? So in explore, I am implementing the feature, I am testing it in a parallel, I am delivering it. Got it?
Yeah, so envisioning is the real project scope of
it's a product vision. Product vision.
Yeah, the product vision. Speculate is the high level plan for that. Explore is
the product vision. Speculate would be the roadmap.
The roadmap, exactly. And explore, as you were saying, getting into it, doing a deep dive, probably the development and testing actually happening here. Then adapt, reviewing. Yeah, so here I am actually, reviewing what I have developed and test. Implement.
Yeah, the way even the processes, the way I implemented it.
Right. And closes, we are conclude. Okay, so
sign off.
Sign off, yeah. So here, after this, the client has actually seen the product.
Complete product. So after close, you would not come back to any phase, right? It's just that project is over. You're done with the project. It's time to get rolled off.
Right. Okay. Super.
Right. Yeah. Any other question? Okay. So this is a detailed explanation of vision. Do you want me to go through it, or you are good?
I think it's okay. We can do a self-study here.
So project data sheet. So project data sheet is nothing but where you define vision. So what would a product vision have? why I need a project, why I need a particular product. So if my product vision is to have Facebook, why I need Facebook? Because I want to socialize. For whom I need it? For end people, like for people, for you and me I need it, right? What is all that I want? What, after, if you and me are connecting, what would be the benefit, right? It will reduce the distances between the people, right? Somebody who is in US and somebody who is in India would reduce the difference. The why we are uploading the pics, you don't feel you're far away, right? The benefit and the success. And if this does not work, what is the alternative you would want? Okay, I want my Facebook to have upload pictures. Okay, if I'm not able to do that, then what is that you would, an alternative that you would give? Maybe one of the could be that I can click on Facebook using some app on Facebook and then share it. But since that camera thing did not work, so I can just already click pic, I can upload it and share it. This could be the alternative, to give that example. So project data sheet is nothing, but it will have your product vision, your vision statement, and the project scope. Okay. So this is just the list of things that you can: business objectives, features, statement, who is the daily cost, capabilities. So this is how you can define your product vision and scope, product data sheet. Okay. Any questions?
So this product vision, these things are in all the frameworks. I mean, in Scrum, Lean, Kanban.
Yes, all the. So when you start a project, so as I told you, if you don't know why this thing is being built, you would not. So even in the traditional and agile method differences, the first difference that was agile talks about why rather than how. So this product document, product data sheet, product vision will tell you why you need this product. It will help you think better.
Okay.
Right. So if I give you an example of an employment site like Monster, okay, I want to have a Monster. I want to have why you need, because I want that HR and the job seeker and the employer can connect with each other. They can have a easy big pool available for them. Right. Till the time I don't understand, I would not be able to even drive my acceptance criteria. Like if I have to, then if I don't know why you need it, and one of my features says implement search functionality, I would just implement search functionality, but would not think, since HR would also be logging, since job seeker would also be logging, then the search functionality for both the people would be different, right? HR would need to have a download functionality as well with search. HR searches for maybe content management system, and he would have list of people who have this domain, and he should be able to view their resume and download it. But for job seeker, their download functionality is not needed, because if he's looking for all his content management system, he's only looking for a view option functionality and apply functionality.
Yeah.
Right. So this is where, if you don't know why, you would not be able to think of acceptance criteria on a broader way. It helps you define the personas.
True. Yeah.
Okay. So agile life cycle revolves around three. They are predictive life cycle, iterative life cycle, and adaptive life cycle. Like, so with predictive life cycle, we mean that time and cost are required to deliver that scope. So in this, where requirements are defined early and they are not changed. So if there is a change, probably we will hold on to that and we will change them in another phase. So this is not very important. So guys, I will be real quick with these three things, these three life cycles. Okay. And probably the cost of incurring that change is would be pretty less. Right? The end result is delivered only at the display. So it is a small waterfall kind of a thing. So for example, if you're working in a sprint, it's a 3-week sprint, and it's a 3-week sprint, and you only get to test at the end of a sprint. Maybe in the first 2 weeks you are doing the development, and the 3rd week you are testing. This would be a predictive life cycle. It's a mini waterfall model, but in a small chunks. Okay.
Okay.
In a iterative is something we have been talking about. We would be working on a small chunks, and we will be doing everything: requirement, design, implementation, testing, and review every time we are doing a development. Every time we are working on some feature. And the end product here is always delivered at the end of each iteration. Okay? Are you guys aware of this iron triangle?
No, not me.
I've heard, I mean, I've seen it.
Please.
Scope and cost, yeah.
Please. Hello? Yeah. So basically in traditional, what happens is the requirements remain fixed, right? We are not changing the requirement. The requirements are never revised. They are fixed. If I need a jet fighter, my requirement would be I need a jet fighter, right? My time would change. I estimated it to be 2 years, but my time would turn out to be 3 years, 4 years. My time changes. My cost, obviously with time, my cost increases, but the scope never changes. But in Agile, the time and cost are fixed, but the scope is variable, right? So we are, since we adapt, we permit changes, we are changing the scope as well. We are reviewing the change based on the feedback cycles, feedback loops. We are changing the scope, so the time and cost remains fixed, and we work on the variable part becomes the scope. So this is called the flipping of an iron triangle. Okay.
Yeah.
So in traditional iron triangle, if you change one of the variables, one of the other variable has to change too. For example, if you have to add additional scope in the project, which hardly is the case, the time and the cost too has to go high. While in the Agile iron triangle, the value of the project is considered to be the priority. So the value is always delivered when we are delivering a quality product with the changing, with adapting a change. Yes, my cost and schedule is a constraint, but we work on prioritizing the requirements, but we are adding value to the customer by delivering the right product. We are delivering the verified and validated product to the customer. Right? My constraints could be cost and scope, but then when customer understands, customer is involved throughout the life cycle of the project, he would obviously appreciate why the cost would increase. Okay, so this is called flipping of the triangle. So now is incremental and iterative delivery. So incremental is, okay, I think this would be explained better with an example here. Okay, so incremental is, I want to have a Mona Lisa, right? So in incremental, I'll first work on the face, then on the arms, and then on the complete body. But in iterative, I'm completely working on the complete pic of Mona Lisa, but I'm enhancing it, right? So in a typical example which I gave you, I want 3 plus 2 is equal to 5. In incremental, in first stage, I would be just taking the input for my code. In second phase, I would be adding it. In the third phase, I would be storing it in a variable x. While in iterative, I would be doing 3 plus 2 is equal to 5 in the first stage. In the second stage, probably I am taking 3 plus 2 as an input from a user. I am refactoring it. Right? And in the third variable, in the third iteration, maybe I am returning that 5 value. So this is how I am improvising. In incremental, I'm working in bits and parts and then collaborating it and binding them together. In iterative, I'm working on everything together, but in bits and bits, I'm enhancing it. Okay. So now here comes the most important part of this chapter, which is Agile Manifesto. So Agile Manifesto was designed in 2001 by 17 people. Okay, so these 17 people had met together for discussion on a project and something. They were from, most of them, I think, from ThoughtWorks. They got together and came up with these 3 manifestos. So it says the items on the left have more value than the items on the right. So items on the right are from the word over. So everything before over has more value than the items on the after over, like processes and tools, right? So the first point in manifesto says individual and interactions over processes and tools. So as we have talked about, Agile believes in interacting on an individual basis, one-on-one basis, having interactions rather following the processes and tools, right? Rather than putting a query in a requirement tracker and checking it in and waiting for it to come, I would probably pick up a phone, update get a requirement resolved, update it and circulate it. So we believe in interacting rather than following the processes and tools. Second says working software over comprehensive documentation. So I think this point is pretty clear. So I value more working software, right? If I don't see a working software, there is no value to the documents produced. I don't care if I have a requirement document. I don't care if I have a test strategy. All I care is a working software. So at the end of each iteration, I should be able to see a working software. If my software doesn't work, it is of no value to a user or to the customer or to the team. Customer collaboration over contract negotiation. So rather than following a contract, I would value my customer more. I would value my customer needs. My priority would be delivering value to my customer. I would prefer responding to a change rather than following a plan. I think these were pretty explanatory, but if you have any doubts, just let me know. Okay. I will quickly read all of these 12 principles which have been jotted down from the 4 Agile manifestos. If you have any doubts, just let me know. I'll just stop and clarify because these are the points we have already talked about. Satisfying customer is my top priority. This is the first principle. Second says welcoming change in the requirements, right? Third is delivering working software. Fourth is development and business work together. There are no teams. Complete test, QA, client, product owner, everybody works together as a one team, right? The primary measure of success is a working software. Team regularly reflects on work and then tunes and adjusts to its behavior. They are adapting, they are refactoring themselves after every sprint. They are reviewing their work and they are trying to analyze what went wrong and what did not. They are retrospecting. Build projects around motivated team has the spirit of ownership and they have trust between each other. Most effective and efficient method of conveying information to and within development team is to have a face-to-face communication. If there are cross location teams, pick up the phone, have video conferencing. The best mode of communication is a face-to-face communication. If face-to-face communication cannot happen for some strange reasons like have conference calls, chat, right? continuous attention to the technical excellence and the good design. So we are refactoring ourselves, so we are improving the quality, so technical excellence. 10th point is simplicity. The art of maximizing the amount of work not done is essential. Okay, so I would want to, what do you mean by this point? Simplicity, the art of maximizing the amount of work not done. Any idea? Okay, so it talks about eliminating the waste. It says, it means, it's just the play of a language, but it means that something which is not needed, forget it. Eliminate the waste. Decide as late as possible.
Super.
Okay, it's just the language. So all it means is eliminate the waste. Okay? So best architectural requirements come from self-organizing teams. Agile processes promote sustainable development. The sponsor development is used to be able to maintain a constant pace. Okay, so what do you understand by lean? Can you just tell me the English meaning of lean?
Sleek, thin.
Okay. Sleek, thin.
Tiny, narrow.
Narrow. So yes, exactly, lean meaning thin, slim trim, okay? Yeah, this is exactly what I mean, no fat, no extra stuff, just to the point. So if there is no extra flesh in the body, we call you person is lean, right? So this is what exactly it means. Removing the waste from the project is lean. Okay, so when I say removing the waste from the project, it means that I am not implementing the functionality which is not needed. I am sorry, I am not focusing on unnecessary stuff. I am just working to the point. I am just focusing on the business performance. I am just business requirement, and once and my solutions are all based on achieving what I actually need. Okay, so to do this, so this is one of the big one of the items under the umbrella of Agile is lean. Okay, so here we are continuously working on implementing only those functionalities, or probably working on that aspect of project which is just needed. So this might also mean that I am not implementing the coding standards as of now, right? I would write a code, probably I have not implemented it using OOPS concept. I just wrote everything. I wanted to do 3+2. I just hard coded everything and just delivered the result 5, right? My main intention is I delivered that 3+2 is 5. I did not focus how I got it, but I just achieved it. I did not waste my time implementing or improvising the quality standard, the coding standard. I did not waste my time on any of this stuff. I just focused on what actually was needed. So actually I needed was 3+2. Once I got it, I said I have delivered the functionality. But here it is, the catch is, it does not mean that you would not focus on this refactoring of the code. This refactoring of the code would be in discussion, in transparency with the client, would be done at the later stage. Okay. So my main agenda here is that I am delivering the acceptance criteria, I am meeting the acceptance criteria, and I am delivering what is needed. So it is beneficial where, you know, when you have very less time and you just want to have a quality product, where you just want to have all the features properly implementing, they are working properly. This is where the lean would best fit in. And probably the code can be improvised at the later stages. So lean is about thinking differently. Lean says eliminate waste. right? So when I'm working in lean, as I mentioned, I'm just working to the point. I am not focusing on extra additional stuff. I am working on what exactly is needed. I am amplifying my learning. Since I am doing a constant review, I have increased feedback cycles are there because I'm just focused on delivering the product. I'm just working too fast to get it done. There would be a decreased feedback cycle. I mean, the time of the feedback cycle would be reduced. And since I'm doing that and I'm implementing the feedback as fast as possible, so I'm learning through it, that how I can deliver a quality product. I get feedbacks early at a very early stage, so I know what things I need to take care in the future. Now, next is decide as late as possible. Can somebody tell me what would that mean?
I mean, one thing would be to get as many feedbacks as possible, like from all the stakeholders, and then instead of hurrying into the decision, like just take everybody's perspective and then take one a call out of it.
No, but then that would reduce the impact of having the feedbacks. Then I would not be amplifying my learning there. I got the feedback, but if I did not make use of it, no point having a feedback. To a certain extent, yes, it is right. I would pick up the feedbacks which are really important. I would not negate that statement completely, but I would just pick up the few important stuff. So I will bar my decisions on anything, maybe hiring a resource, or maybe getting a new server, or maybe any decision. I would try to bar it as much as I can, because the later I decide, more clarity I would have. Right. So in one way, maybe about taxation system. Right. I started working on a taxation system in maybe June, right? And my summer budget is happening, and I'm not sure what if there would be some changes in the service tax, if there would be some changes in the VAT. If I go while the budget is happening in June only, if I go and implement it, and if things get changed in the budget, I would have to go back to it and implement it later again. That is a double effort for me. But if I bar the decision, okay, since I would not be needing a taxation system before February, or maybe before January, if it's a huge org, you would start maybe preparing it in Jan. So let me bar the decision till November. I'll wait till November, so that if at all any changes have to be made, it would be done in a winter session, and I would implement it then. Makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then is deliver as fast as possible, which is again a simple agile principle. We have been talking about deliver as fast as possible, quick delivery cycles are there. Empower the team. Your team owns everything. It's not that they are not guided or commanded to do something. They own it. Right? Build quality in. So since the stakeholder involvement in Agile is pretty high, right? The quality of any product that would be delivered would always be pretty high, because since stakeholders can see the product on almost a daily basis or on a weekly basis, they would be reviewing it, they would be giving it the feedback. So you are building the quality. You are ensuring the end product, the confidence level of their end product would be very high. Then it says see the whole. It says think big, right? Don't just focus on one thing. Think on a bigger picture. See the bigger picture, how it would help. Now, for example, if I'm the same example of a taxation system, for an ERP system, a taxation is a very high requirement. But had I not seen the budgets and the time where I'm going to implement it, I would have done it. I did not see the bigger picture. There are budget coming in, there would be some changes in the taxes slabs or maybe something. I saw the bigger picture and I held on my decision. I did not implement it. Right? So see the bigger picture, think big. Okay? Then, so let's see what are the benefits of lean. After listening to them, let's discuss the benefits. So what do you think would be the, what is the biggest benefit you see of implementing this approach?
Yeah, one is optimal utilization, like whatever resources we've got, and using it to the best means, like as we said, like getting rid of the waste and taking the cream out of your resources. I mean, not only human resources. I mean, all sorts of resources, and using the cream out of it.
Yes, exactly. And anybody else?
Yeah, same. I mean, what is needed? What is the actual need? Identify it, deliver it. There is no extra things, no waste things.
Right. So I'll just read the slides. I think all of you have answered that. So it identifies the value, what is the value, what would give you the maximum value to the customer, and we try to eliminate the waste. We do not focus on priority 3 and priority 4. Our focus is first on the priority 1 items. Right? If I talk from a defect backlog perspective, if I have to be lean, my focus would be fixing the priority 1. Priority 3s and priority 4s can be taken care of later. Right? Then I'm continuously improving the pursuit of perfection, since I'm getting a continuous feedback. Right. So if I am working on priority 1 defects, if one or two of the defects are probably reopened or they need to be refixed, I might be fixing some number of priority 3 and priority 4 defects while I'm fixing priority 1. It could be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I am improving continuously. And customer sees the value addition. I am adding a value. I am building a trust in the eyes of the customer. So now, when we are talking about lean, there are 3 types of waste. One is called muda, muri, and mura. So what is muda? It says work which absorbs resource but adds no value. So we should not work on that item or a task which is adding no value, but is consuming my resource. So for example, if I am trying to improvise my code when there is an important delivery to go ahead, I am focusing on the customer, on the coding standards and adding comments. It is consuming my time, but it's not adding the value for that particular moment, right? Then muri, unreasonable work that is imposed on workers and machines, same like implementing of the coding standards at that particular time. If I'm implementing, if I don't want to do it, but my manager keeps telling me, oh, do it, that is muri. So that is imposing of the work. Then mura, so lean says that works come in tits and bits. You would be working it in an incremental way. There would be never a situation when you get a big bang amount of a work. Since you are working on the priorities, even if you, while implementing something, you saw something that this should be done this way. So for example, if in a login screen, my requirement says username cannot be, should be 3 or more characters, right? But while I was developing it, I realized there are many people with name Joe, J-O, Joe, right? I will just go back to the client and ask him that it needs to be, this is an improvement request, this needs to be modified, this needs to be implemented. My client would reprioritize that for me. So if he'll feel that, okay, this needs to be implemented now and then only, he'll give me a priority. And he will pull out the same amount of work for that particular task, right? So if one thing is added, other thing of equal priority or equal effort would be taken out. In Scrum, the requirements are written in the product backlog. Okay, so the product backlog would have all the list of features that are needed to be implemented for that particular project. The duty of the product owner is to prioritize the product backlog. Okay, so if there are 20 requirements in the product backlog, he will get them reprioritized after discussion with the stakeholders and users, with the team, and give a prioritized list to the team. Now, product owner in association with team would have a sprint planning meeting where they will pick first two, probably depending upon the bandwidth that team has. They will pick up the most important, the first two, like number two is the most important priority after they have been prioritized, right? They will first two and they will put that in a sprint backlog. Now, these two features would undergo discussion with product owner involving stakeholders, and they will detail that out. This detailing is called user story writing and acceptance criteria. Fine. Okay. So once the acceptance criteria have been decided, sprint starts. You start implementing it. It could be a 3-day, 4-day cycle. It would be a 2 to 3 weeks of cycle. They would be implemented, and once with 2 to 3 weeks after these two requirements have been implemented, there is a demo, there is a review of the sprint. Then we collect a feedback from a client. Once we have a client feedback, we have a sprint retrospective. This means the complete team and product owner comes and decides what went good in the sprint, what we should stop doing, what we should start doing more frequently, and how things can be changed, the process can be changed. While in the 2 to 3 weeks of cycle, they have a daily planning meeting, which is called the daily stand-up meeting. So this is not the example which Debajit was giving for a Microsoft where product owner came in pretty late. It was a daily stand-up meeting where team was just discussing what they had decided to do yesterday. If they have not been able to do, what are the reasons, what were the impediments because of which they were not able to do. It is a whiteboard meeting, so we will talk about it in length in the coming week. So it's a whiteboard meeting where everybody's name is jotted down. They have what they did yesterday, what are they planning to do, and if something is pending in their plate from yesterday, why was it pending? This is all they discuss. And if they have a dependency on something, like maybe I was working on a code but the server went down, so X person is working on the server, bringing it up, so I have a dependency till that person is up. So they discuss all and try to resolve it, how they can help each other, okay, and how they can remove all the obstacles. Okay, so this is a typical Scrum structure. So the Scrum is based on, again, 5 values: respect each other's work. Okay, so if you are not respecting each other's work, when we are, for example, if we are doing a continuous check-in, we are doing a continuous check-in of a code, one did, another did not do, which impacted the other's work, right? You are disrespecting that person. So you should respect whatever each other is doing. Have continuous feedbacks. Okay. Third is courage. Have the courage to check in your code. If you're not confident enough, I mean, if you're checking it in, you would be probably able to understand where you are going, because when you are checking in the code, your code would go and merge with other people's code as well, and probably that is where with the team effort you would be able to solve it. Or if you have any doubts, or if you need any explanation while implementing something, have the courage to talk to your product owner. Don't think what he will think or what she will think, what would be the team's reaction that has started working and I don't have clarity. Have the courage to speak and interact. Communicate as much as possible, and then keep things simple. Work on the priority, work on what is needed. Don't waste your extra effort on things which are not needed. So Kanban is nothing but a visual board. Basically, it's a visual task board. So where you have 3 columns, not started, in progress, and done. Based on the requirements, probably you can have it, the ones which is being displayed here, like under analysis, you can put ongoing, done. Maybe you are you are in the part of a sprint where you are in the middle of the sprint and you are also analyzing the sprint n+1, right? So you can break down in a way you want, but the basic 3 fields which we have: not started, in progress, done. So the features are the tasks we are working. So we have initially, to start with, we have all the tasks in the not started side. I pick feature 1 and 2. Our team starts working on it. Okay, and now feature 1 and 2, the sticky note, they would be removed from non-started field and they will move to in progress. They will only go, feature 1 and 2 will only move to done once the testing is complete, once the defects have been closed and there is no pending issue open against it. Till that time it will be only in progress. Okay, it would be, so to make sure that something is done, we have something called definition of done, which is created. So we follow the definition of done. So like, if from a testing perspective, if I have to quote an example from a testing perspective, my definition of a done would be a website would be completely tested when I have cross-browser tested it across the browsers, when I have tested it across the platforms, when I have tested the backend, when I have tested the UI, or when I have tested the security. If one of the if I have not done the cross-browser testing, my feature would not be complete. It would remain in a pending state. Okay? Yeah. So this is called work in progress limit. But there is a limit internally. When you start a project, you will have to put a work in progress limit. So for example, under in progress, there are 5 items, and in done, there are 2. So I will not pull anything from not started to in progress till I at least clear the log in progress section. I will make a hard stop at 5. We will decide on a limit at the beginning of the project that 5 is my limit. So at point where I have 5 items or tasks in my in progress section, I will make a halt, complete the in progress, move it to done, and then start the new one. This is called work in progress. And the pull thing in Kanban is pulling from not started to in progress, and then from in progress to I'm pulling it, right? I'm not going, nothing is pushing, nothing is going back from done to in progress. I'm just pulling it, I'm moving it forward, I'm not pushing it, right? So it's a pull technique. Okay. Now, since we have talked about traditional project management as well and Agile as well, I will want you guys to reiterate it. Probably would want to just differentiate between them quickly. Or you can elaborate on first point.
Yeah, so focus on plans and artifacts is the traditional, and the Agile will be focus on customer interaction and satisfaction. But we do plan and we do have artifacts as well, right, in Agile?
Yes, but our major focus is never that. Our delivery point is not an artifact, right? My delivery to customer is the actual working product. My delivery to customer is not the requirement document.
Yes, absolutely. And now I can recollect the example you gave, that it's not a 10 pages, 40 pages test strategy document, but
right.
Taking some important things and just the pager. Yeah. So instead of writing too many emails or just waiting for days for them to come back, I mean, it's always better to go and interact or make a phone call. So getting the interaction more proactive, basically. That's the first. Second one is resistance to changes. That's a traditional one, and here changes are incorporated at any time of the project building. That's quite understandable because traditional project management is more of a, that's what we discussed, like major chunk of work together and waterfall, Big Bang theory. So once something is developed fully, it's very hard to change. So, because any small change would be very expensive. However, this is more, iterative approach in Agile. So things are at an initial stage and it will be less expensive. It will be cheap on cost. So yeah, so that's, yeah, now pass on to David.
Yeah, I just wanted to, it's like a head versus heart kind of a situation. Like waterfall, it's like more like, getting it right politically, like, okay, these are the document, this is the document that we have committed on. So now since like maybe 6 months down the line, if there's some changes that are coming up, so it's like the vendor would say, no, see, these are the things we had agreed on, so now it's impossible to go back on this and that. So I mean, it's getting it more, politically right. I mean, by means of documents and like sign-offs and all. So, but in Agile, it's like more like, doing it together. Like, okay, I mean, we are a part of your, it's like the vendor and company relationship. It's like more friendly. Like, okay, we'll be working on this together. Like, and we'll be delivering it frequently to get a feedback from you very often. Like, see, this is the thing that you'll be getting. Are you happy with it? If yes, we can carry on with that. Or if there's certain problems, we can discuss like why. What are the problems and what we can do about it, and then getting it sorted out, and then delivering it again in another maybe week's time or week or 2 time, maybe in another 14 days time to get another feedback from the customer. So waterfall, it's more like the customer would be at a loss. Like, okay, they'll be just keeping on wondering like what would be delivered to them.
Yes, and in Agile we have that tendency to ask why. So if a customer comes and tells me I need this, we would ask why he actually needs it. We will try to get to the base, so understand the complete requirement, because out of that we might come up with few acceptance criteria. Right?
Waterfall, it's like it's broken into the testers, developers. There's a distinct boundary between the teams. Here, like, it's like more of, it's a boundaryless team. Like, dev and QA. Of course, there will be some kind of there might be some differences in opinion and all, but at the end of the day, everybody would be a part of the everybody would be a part of the same team. There's no there's no distinct boundary between the teams, and people would be, one more thing, like, it would be, assume that people know that what they're supposed to do. So people will have their own distinct, the set of responsibilities, and it would be assumed like nobody would be, bossing others. Like, okay, this was supposed to be your task. Why haven't you done it and all? It's like, just in case if a work doesn't get done, it would be more like, okay, can I help you in some way, or like, so it's like, a boundaryless team, borderless team kind of thing.
Yeah, self-organizing. There are no bosses. There are no roles. So there could be a scenario where a Scrum, one of the team members, maybe somebody from a QA team goes missing one day, right? And a Scrum Master will just pitch in to do that. Right? It's not that, oh, I am a Scrum Master, I'll not come and QA. So it's a boundaryless team, right?
Yeah, just one example, like yesterday I was, just before Mathu time, I was just listening to one, there was one video that I was looking at in YouTube. It was, a Microsoft's typical Scrum meeting, like, so it was some Microsoft product team, 7 or 8 people in that team. So the project manager, the product owner, was the last person who came to the picture. It's not like the manager would always be the Scrum Master, it's not that the manager would be always the one defining and running the meeting. It was just a team member who was the Scrum Master, and that person was running the show.
Yeah, the customer oriented is nothing but if customer needs a change, we accept that. So we are entertaining a customer. It's not that we go ahead by rules or by the contract. Okay, the contract was signed for just these 10 requirements. I would only work on these 10 requirements. So we bill our customers on the basis of the features we are delivering, not on the basis of the time or maybe. So it's not a fixed price project. Agile would not work in a fixed price project. So you have to entertain your customer since you have to welcome change. So you can't go by your contract. Okay, so this is a quiz section. Okay, and Andy would ask you a few quizzes, and you just think about the answer internally. I mean, we can just, and you can just verify if this is what you actually thought of. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so first question is, agile processes promote dash development: iterative, incremental, sustainable, rapid. Shall I show the answer?
No, just 10 seconds. Confused between A and B. Okay, yeah, I've got an answer.
It's C, sustainable. It promotes sustainable. So if it is not sustainable, you would not be able to follow the iterative and incremental development as well. It's not the sustained speed and it's not sustainable.